welcome back to another Let's Talk Tuesday. I really hope you guys have been enjoying the videos thus far. And guys, please don't hesitate to comment. Please, I'm begging you. Please don't hesitate to comment. Let me hear back from you. What's your opinion? Just give me some feedback, please. Thank you. And please don't forget to click that share button and share it to your social media pages and let them become aware of Let's Talk Tuesday so everyone can start breaking some cycles, right? There we go. Now, for this week's episode, as you can tell from the title, we are going to be focusing on independence, right? Now, when I was thinking about independence, I was like, okay, I think everyone has a fair idea as to what independence means. Then I wanted like some structure to how to tell you how to be independent. So my mind was going all over the place, right? So I decided, I'm like, okay, let me see what other people are saying. So I researched it and I was like, okay, I like this list, and it basically has 6 ways in which you can become more independent. And I actually agree with these 6 ways, and I really hope you can use these tips to start becoming independent, right? But first, let's define what independence is. Now, I think, as I said, we'll probably have an off the top definition in our heads, and it's more than likely right? It's just being free from someone's authority or their control. Or the second one is not being codependent on someone, basically not depending on someone else for your livelihood or your sustenance. Just ensuring that you are able to provide for yourself, to do things by yourself, you can incorporate, let me clear that up. You can incorporate people or basically take advantage of what someone else is offering, like a benefit, right? But being able to meet your needs and being able to ensure that you don't need someone else to basically make you happy, to provide for you, to do anything of the sort, right? Just in essence, being able to do that for yourself. And just a disclaimer, as much as we are supposed to be independent because God gave us free will, He gave us a choice, we're supposed to make choices that are going to enable ourselves and then make choices that are going to align with His will for our lives. He also requires us to be dependent on Him, but He wants us to be independent here on earth, like make decisions. He's already given us enough knowledge, enough power to make decisions by ourselves, because we're no longer babies where babies need to be kept and watched and everything done for them. There's a reason why we grew up and we learn to get off the breast milk and learn to do things ourselves, right? So that's basically what I'm saying. God wants us to become independent, yet in terms of the way He's steering our lives, He wants us to be dependent on that, and knowing that without Him, we really can't reach our ultimate purpose in life, and that is to reach to Him, right? But let's get back to independence. Now, the 6 ways that I researched, they are: get to know yourself, challenge your assumptions and beliefs, become more assertive, make your own decisions, meet your needs, and learn to soothe yourself. Basically, self-care. Now, we're going to get into each and every one of them. The first one is get to know yourself. Guys, remember what I spoke about in last week's video on the real you. In order to break cycles, we have to get to know who we are as individuals, because it's in getting to know who we are we can learn to become independent. This is a reason why this video is directly after that video, right? And I chose these 6 steps because the first step is actually tying to what I really wanted to get to the point of, right? Getting to know yourself. And getting to know yourself is first learning to build your confidence, right? And in building your confidence, you're able to sit down, face yourselves, and then say, you know what? This is me. I need to work on these parts. I need to embrace these parts. In embracing these parts, because most times, in order to become independent, guys, it means that we start to basically use our strengths in order to benefit us in the long run, if you get what I'm saying. If let's just even be straightforward, guys, and that is, use your strengths to make you money. Like, become an entrepreneur. Use your strengths to make you money, honestly. And in making you money, you'll definitely become independent, right? Now, getting to know yourself is to sit down, do some introspection, as I told you before, and then after doing the introspection, work on your areas that you need to improve, and then embrace your strengths, and then just walk into that phase of winning, right? Just walk into that phase of winning. Because in knowing yourself, guys, you are definitely going to start becoming independent. You don't need to depend on someone to validate you. You don't need someone else's opinion of you. You know who you are. You've embraced who you are. And that's all that matters, well, apart from God's opinion of you. But you know what I mean, right? You don't need another human's opinion for validation, right? You just need God's approval. So the second one is to challenge your beliefs and assumptions. So I don't want you to take this the wrong way, but we cannot just depend on what we've learned in school or in church. The reason why I am solid in my Christian faith is because I started to learn Jesus for myself. It's not a matter of course, I grew up in the church, as most of you know, because most of you guys are my friends, right? Well, at this current point of my channel, right? So I grew up in the church. I've had my beliefs. I've learned of the church culture. I've learned everything. But as I told you in my daily encouragements, if you haven't watched those, then guys, get to the playlist. Thank you very much. Yes. As I've told you in my daily encouragement, I reconsecrated my life to God in 2016. And that means I had to learn God for myself. I had to challenge my beliefs, because what they told me in church, yes, it sounds valid. And yes, I know it's valid, right? Because I've searched it for myself. I've read the Bible for myself about, I think this is the third time going now, right? I've learned the Bible for myself. I've experienced God for myself. My beliefs, everything that I basically embrace, not only religious beliefs, but moral beliefs, like social beliefs, how to treat people, how to do things, how to handle yourself in different scenarios, in the workplace, in the school, everything of the sort. Because of course you're taught how to operate in these places, but then when you get into the real situation, you really need to challenge your beliefs and say, okay, is what I learned sufficient to make me thrive in this situation? And we really ought to challenge our beliefs to say, okay, maybe what was taught is not necessarily the best way to approach this situation. Do you understand? And then in doing that, guys, you learn to, yes, you hear someone's opinion on something, but you'll always end up with making a decision on your own, because you've challenged the belief. You won't just take the belief and just suck it up and be like, oh, give me all the juice, instead of questioning it. You have to question it, and there's nothing wrong with questioning your beliefs, but make sure that in questioning it, you actually search for a good reason, not just to fight, not for a debate or anything toxic or negative, right? You go and search for it to find how best to handle any situation, right? And with your religious beliefs, you question it, but let God prove himself to you. And when he does, don't fight it. Yeah. So the next one is be more assertive. I have been telling people this for the longest while. I know too many people, guys. I know I'm assertive, right? I think my friends can also attest to that. I'm very persistent, and I'm very assertive, right? Guys, being assertive in life will get you places. I remember, I don't know if you remember is telling me this. One of my friends back in Jamaica, I was asking him, we were at our friend's wedding, right? And I asked him to do something for me. I asked him to go and give the bride something. And I was being persistent with him. I was like, why is it that you don't want to go and do it? Please go and do it. Please go and do it. And then he was like, you know, Shani, I see why you get a lot of things done in life. And I'm like, what are you talking about? He's like, because you're so persistent and so assertive. Like, you won't even give me a break to even make a decision. I'm like, but it's just go and do it. What's wrong? He's like, and I'm like, yeah. So I kind of went and did it myself because he was like, yeah, Tariq, I'm talking about you. But anyways, so you see, guys, like, he sees that in me being so assertive, in me being like the way I am naturally, it gets me places because he sees that I don't hesitate to ask for things and I go after whatever I want in life, right? And I push for it until I get it. Yeah. I don't necessarily, I try not to annoy people, but sometimes you gotta annoy people to get what you want in life, because people, it's what you want, guys, not what they want. They're okay. They have what they have. You need to get your share, right? So with being independent, guys, we need to be more assertive. If it is that you want, let's say you're starting a business, you can't, if you're starting a business, guys, you need to market your business, right? You can't be sitting and just expecting things to come to you. The world owes us nothing, guys, like literally. I know a lot of people think that way. Maybe it's because of how they've been raised, that everything has been given to them, like they've had a silver spoon in their mouth all the days of their life. But the world actually really owes you nothing. Let's get that clear. It really doesn't. So, with that being said, that means that we ought to go for what we want in life. We have to get up and go and do it. It's not going to come easy. If you want, there is a saying in Jamaican dialect, if you want good, your nose off a run, right? So basically, in order to get anything good, anything praiseworthy, you have to do some hard work in order to get to that point, right? Nothing comes easily like that, not even eternity. Like, come on, guys, if Jesus had to die on the cross, you think you getting successful in life, you doing anything of the sort is gonna come so easily? This man lost his life for us, and we think we can just wake up and be successful. No, guys, let's get this clear. We need to be assertive. Sitting down and being shy about every little thing won't get us anywhere. It won't. It won't. Okay? So we need to get out of that phase. And the next one is start making your own decisions. Like, really. Becoming independent is learning to make your own decisions. So let me even clear that up. You're not going to just be like, oh, I don't need any advice from anyone. No, that's not smart. Making your own decisions in the healthy way, the godly way, guys, is to say, okay, let me get my multitude of counselors. Let me get a few people, what they think about this topic or what they think about this scenario. And you can take advice. And some advice will align with yours and some won't. And that's quite fine. Everyone gives a solution based on their perspective. And that's quite fine. But being independent is, after getting all those advice, opinions, everything of the sort, be able to filter what you need to filter and then come to a final decision to say, okay, this is what Shanique thinks, and this is what Shanique will do. And it may or may not make one of those persons that gave you advice happy. It's just a fact, because you have to make the decision for yourself at the end of the day, because it's your life. You do what you need to do, but you can always ask for opinions and advice, right? And you filter out. You can like, let's say you ask 3 people for advice, but each of them gave an advice that, okay, you can probably take A from this one, B from this one, and C from this one. Then fuse that together into a nice decision that is for you, and that's your final decision. You can use those things and better enable yourself, right? So being independent, guys, is being able to make your own decisions at the end of the day, not living under someone else's umbrella, but being able to take advice and then at the end of the day filter out what is important for you and then make the final decision. That is being independent. Then the next one, right? Meet your needs. If it is that you need food and you don't have a job, go find a job or go start a business and start making some money to meet your needs. Be able to meet your needs. That is how you become independent, right? And I don't mean, well, I always admired my brother, that man. Oh my gosh, he is money man, and money man in terms of how he thinks about money. My brother, we could never get money from him, like even from high school days. Like, guys, he's just my brother, right? He's just Andrew, right? Oh my gosh, guys, my brother was dependent but independent. Has always been like that. Honestly, he has been dependent while under mommy's roof, but no, but still under mommy's roof, he was so independent because he knew how to save from what mommy gave him. He knew how to save, and then he was able to buy whatever he wants, whatever he needs. And I've seen him grow, and that mentality has just blossomed into who he is right now. And he knows how to save that he can meet his needs, right? What, even if his wants are not necessarily fulfilled, well, I don't know his business full overall, right? Yeah, he's also like that, secretive. It's a good note to take, guys. It's actually a very good trait. Yes. But just admiring him about how he handles himself is like, wow. He really knows how to meet his needs. He's really an independent man. Like, yeah. Right? And I have learned from that. And, still learning. Because, he teaches me every time we're on a call, guys. You're like, okay, Andrew. Okay, Andrew. I'm joking. Like, literally. I'm just here listening to him all the time. Yeah, that's our conversation. Ours, right? But that is basically how you become independent, guys. And it's by being able to meet your needs. You could be in high school, right? If you're a high schooler watching this, don't just spend all your lunch money, but save some of that. Give your tithes, because it's an income to you, right? Give your tithes, and then learn to save and be able to meet your needs from a very young age. And that definitely will transcend into adulthood when you are able to budget wisely when it comes to your work and everything of the sort, right? Guys, being able to meet your needs is a very important concept in order to becoming independent, honestly. And we ought to learn that as individuals. start saving so that you're able to meet your needs. You're never too young to start saving. Example A, my brother, that man. Huh? But final point is learning to soothe yourself. Guys, I've spoken about this in the first two videos where I've told you that speaking positive to yourself is actually very good. And in speaking positive to yourself, you become confident. And then you face the real you. You don't need someone else's validation in order to make you feel good about yourself, right? Learning to soothe yourself when you're going through trials or when you're in your highs, or whether you're in your highs or your lows, guys. Soothing yourself, because being independent, guys, you'll often trod life's path alone, right? And I mean, with your journey, I don't mean like you can't incorporate people into your world, but being independent, what your journey is not what someone else's journey. So this is why I spoke about start making your own decisions, because everyone will give their opinion based on their journey or their path, right? And you have to know that your path is just for you. And in knowing that your path is just for you, guys, then you know how to soothe yourself, you know how to comfort yourself. And the only person that you can definitely go to in terms of how things are going to go regarding your path is God, because he's the one that made the path for you, right? So learning to soothe yourself is to speak positive to yourself and to encourage yourself, because becoming independent, oftentimes, guys, especially if you're being independent to the point where you want to become an entrepreneur, you're going to have some really down days. And being able to use God, and then with your words of affirmation and with his word, be able to pick yourself back up by soothing yourself and doing something that will take your mind. Recreation is also important, guys. Will definitely get you back on track in terms of your journey and being independent, right? And this is how we start to break cycles, guys, because in being confident, in learning the real you, in becoming independent, we break a lot of cycles in terms of independent. You don't need to be dependent on anyone. Let's get out of that attitude where we think we need someone else in our lives in order to become something or be someone. Get out of that mindset, guys. Let's break that cycle. Also, let's break the cycle of financial instability. Let's also break that cycle, and that does tie well to independence and entrepreneurship, right? And break the cycle of being insecure, because if you're insecure, trust me, going on an independent journey, it's gonna be super rough if you're not speaking positive to yourself, if you're not learning the person who you really are, and learning how to comfort yourself and to build yourself even when things get rocky, right? So, guys, honestly, use these tips and start that journey of becoming independent. Learn to do things yourself. You will. My brother, I don't know how I forgot this statement. I was speaking to my brother the other day, right? Like, we always talk about some deep things, right? And he was like, Shanique, you know that statement that says, a jack of all trades but master of none? And I'm like, yeah, I know that. What are you talking about? He's like, that's not the end of that statement. So I was like, really? What do you mean? And then he was like, go Google it. And I'm like, okay. So I Googled it. And you know what the phrase actually says? It says, a jack of all trades but a master of none is oftentimes better than a master of one. That means, guys, being independent in different aspects of your life is far better than just being a master or being the top achiever in one aspect of your life. Being able to be independent and do things on your own is far greater than just being great in one area and then being able to and then just being dependent on everyone else for every aspect of your life. Like, you have two hands, you have a brain, there is unlimited information in this world for you to get up and do something meaningful with your life and be able to meet your needs without the help of someone else. So make use of the information out there. Stop being lazy, guys, and be independent, honestly. Because the jack of all trades but master of none is oftentimes better than the master of one. Right? So learn to do small things that will help you to progress in life. Because you never know, learning a skill at this point in your life, your main attribute or your main strength that is making you money may just fail at one point in time. And then you'll need another skill in order to bounce you back up. Like, guys, honestly, become independent. I'm serious. I don't know how many times I'm going to say this in this one video, but be independent, guys. Be independent. Please and thank you. Please, guys. Depend on God and yourself for your journey in life. Okay? And please do remember the points. They are: get to know yourself, challenge your beliefs, be more assertive, start making your own decisions, meet your needs, and learn to soothe yourself. Please, guys, that's how you start breaking cycles in life. We ought to do that. So please, I really hope you guys take these tips and use them to become more independent. We all grown. If you ain't grown, you still can be independent in your mother's house. Guys, I told you, my brother. Prime example, right? So, guys, let's endeavor to become independent. Okay? So, I'll see you next week. Bye, guys. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Thanks.